G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we're having a look at another gadget that we've recently added to our filming equipment, and this time it's the Rode Wireless Go-To microphone kit. This is not going to be a full review and setup, as we've only recently purchased it, and in any case there's a lot of videos on YouTube that already cover the full setup of this system. There are some initial impressions that I want to talk about, and a few things you might need to know if you're thinking about getting this microphone kit. What I really want to talk about are some of the recent changes to the firmware and some of the concerns I have about using the Rode software that you're going to need in order to download and convert the audio files. The go-to microphone for our filming to date has been the Rode Video Micro, and I think we'll probably keep using that quite a lot, even though we now have this new system. We did have a wireless microphone kit previously, and we've made a bit of use of it in the past, but I think the Rode Go-To is going to completely replace it. As you can see, there's a huge size difference between the old Hoya system and the new Rode Go-To. The Rode Go-To has two transmitters, and that's going to be ideal if we ever start doing interviews or, for whatever reason, we need microphones set up in two locations. The Hoya system used AA batteries, and although they were easily replaceable when filming on location, the Go-To system is rechargeable and can easily be recharged with a power pack. The real game changer, I think, with the Go-To is going to be the fact that the transmitters will record a backup audio track, and it's recorded directly to each transmitter. This is something pretty new for us, and I think it's going to be something we find pretty useful. Each microphone, of course, can record its own individual track, or they can be merged together for one single track. The Go-To can even be used independently, so you don't need a camera to hook it up to. That makes the Go-To very versatile, and potentially even a replacement for the Video Micro, but we're going to do a lot of testing before we really make that decision. There are, however, a few things about the Go-To that I'm not that keen on, and it's mostly related to the software that you're going to load onto your PC to download the audio files. This is what I want to go through first, and I'll give you a look at the new firmware because most of the videos that are on YouTube at the moment are not showing you the latest release. Okay, so let's fire up the software and have a look at what it can do. For this demonstration, I've only connected one transmitter and the receiver, but you can connect both transmitters at the same time if you want to. If you want a full rundown on all the options and settings, then just do a quick search on YouTube, because there's plenty of good videos out there showing you how to properly configure and set up the microphones. Here I'm just going to show you a few things that I think are a bit below par and could do with some updates in the next firmware release. Okay, so initially let's just have a look at the settings that we're using with the receiver. That's RX. The transmitter terminology is TX, and you can see they've both got the same firmware version here. This is the latest firmware version, 2.19. They should correspond. If I had the second transmitter turned on, that should turn up here. So we'll have a look at the settings I'm using with the receiver. The receiver, of course, is the little box that connects to your camera. So I have my backlight turned on, so that will come on the receiver, and it will enable me to see what's going on better, obviously. If the backlight is on, it will use a little bit more power, but it's just going to make it much more easy to see, especially in daylight. Now there's different settings you can use here. I've set it to fine. Now what this relates to is the settings you can have for your gain. For those who aren't aware, when it comes to gain and decibels, 0 is the highest setting. You're never going to set this to 0. It's going to blow your audio out. The best setting I've come up with so far for what I'm doing is -24. And you can change that both on the unit itself, or you can change it here in the software. So I'm going to leave that set to 24. You can have two separate audio tracks recording. So you can see here it says split. If I click on that, it will merge them. So what that means is the two different microphones will be put together on one track. If I split it, then you're going to have two separate audio tracks available, and that means they can be edited separately when it comes time to create your video. Now, I'm not going to go through the other settings here. I don't use this, I don't change that. So if you want to find out about those, go check up on YouTube and look for a complete setup. And that will explain these ones in more detail. Your battery setting here will tell you how your charge level is going. You've got clock settings and you've got firmware settings. Can't quite see the point in that when it's shown up here anyway. Just tells you it's up to date. Little gear wheel there. You can do a factory reset if you want to set everything back to the way it was when you got it. And you can change your output to any of the devices you've got set on your computer. I've got a few different options here, but we will leave that set as it is. We're not going to change that. So that's the receiver side done. And to get back to the transmitter, you just click the back button there, and here you will be able to access the transmitter. And this is where things get a little bit more interesting. Okay, so to access your transmitters, they'll appear here. As I said before, I've only got the one attached. Click on that. And immediately you'll see here that we have a number of audio files already recorded. Now these are the backup files. This is not your main audio. Your main audio is going to be recorded on your camera, so it'll go from your transmitter to your receiver, from the receiver to the camera. These are the backup files that are recorded directly on the transmitters. Now you can select these individually, or multiples, or all. So select them all, select none, and click the check boxes to select a number. And what you would hope would happen there is that if you only wanted to download and convert these files, bearing in mind these files are not usable. These are Rode's proprietary audio files. They cannot be used for anything until they've been exported. So if you've got a whole list of files and you only want some of them, the idea here should be you click on the ones you want, set whether you want it MP3 or WAV. I send mine out in WAV format. You've got other settings here to change the quality of the recording, and hit the export. Now it'll ask you what directory you want to save them in, or what folder. I'll put them into my pending one, which is where they would normally go. Unfortunately, the software doesn't remember this. It should. Every time you go back, it should remember where you were. It doesn't do that, which is annoying. And it will go ahead and look like it's working. Now, if this is going to be the same as it usually does, it'll stop part way through. Yes, it has. And there is some sort of buggy nonsense going on here. That should have completed all the way to the end. And if I fire the directory up here, open up the folder, you'll see that it's created the WAV files, but they're all empty. So it hasn't actually done anything, which is yeah, obviously some sort of a bug there. And I have to cancel that. And what happens at this stage, I will select none, and you have to do these one by one. I don't know why. I don't understand. As you can see, I have to select that directory all over again. Rode, will you please fix this? It's bloody annoying. And there we go. Export complete. That's what it should say. And now we go back to that directory and have a look. And where are we? Are we on the right directory? Pending. And here we have a WAV file with content. So that's what should happen. And that is what is not happening when you select multiple files. I don't know what is going on with the software, but there's obviously something that's not right. So that's a couple of the problems that you're going to experience with this software at the moment. And another problem is deleting these files. There should be some selective way of picking up files you don't want to keep on the transmitter. They could be just junk files or whatever, accidentally recorded information that you no longer need. Obviously, the way the software should work is that you can select these and then have a delete button here. You can't do that. And again, that's pretty annoying. You can only delete all of these, and you can't do it via this screen. You have to go into a second screen, which is the little gear wheel on the transmitter here. And you can see we have some more settings. Now this is to do with backing up your audio. We have off, we have always, which means only the transmitter needs to be on, or we have backup, which means the transmitter and the receiver have to be on. So that's the setting I've selected. Again, you've got the battery, and that refers to this transmitter. You can have compressed or uncompressed. If you have compressed, that will allow you to store more, but it won't be as good quality. So I'm sticking with uncompressed. And I'm not going to go into these other settings here. Not important for what I'm doing. Again, if you want to know what they are and how to use them, just do a search on YouTube, and you'll find videos that explain all this. The other problem is here. We have a slider here that tells us how many hours are remaining. It doesn't differentiate files, and if I want to delete the files that are on there, it will warn me that I can't undo this. So if I want to get rid of these files, we'll just hop back to this screen again. Transmitter. So if I want to get rid of one of these files, I can't do it. What Rode should do is allow me to select these out. I have a delete button here and just get rid of that file. That can't be done at the moment, and it needs fixing. Your only option is to go here and delete all the files at once. Again, not really great software. We have asked Rode that if they can sort that out, but that will probably be at some stage in the future with a new firmware version. So now, as you can see, I've deleted those files. They've all gone. Nothing else left on that transmitter, but very annoying to have to do that. There's obviously going to be times we want to delete certain files off the transmitter and not others, but you don't have the option to do that. So really not much else to discuss about it at this stage. I think we've really covered some of the problems that this has. The software on the PC is buggy. It's not really that user-friendly, and it needs some sorting out. So hopefully that will get done in the not too distant future. We'll get back and do another review on these on a practical sense once we've had them out in the field and have been doing some filming with them. But for now, I think this one's gone on pretty well, long enough. So I will let you go, and thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you found something interesting in here. If you have, please give us a like down the bottom. We are approaching 5,000 subscribers, and that's really, for the length of time we've been online, not very much. We've been on here for, I don't know, 9-10 years now. So 5,000 subscribers is very, very small. So if you could give us a subscribe and help us out, I'd really, really appreciate that. But that's it for this video. Hope to see you back on Saturday, when we will have a more core video available, and that will be one of our travel destination videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you later. Bye for now.